This is the worst beer I've ever tasted.
Water tiles. So, for every water tile, the foundation is the same. 2.5 light by 2.5 light. Apply corrugation cover. We're going to use hot glue to illustrate the ripples. Pre-draw your hot glue lines. The style here is very important. These tiles will be placed right next to each other, and we want them to look as seamless as possible. That means there's a couple key points to consider when tracing your ripple lines. Ensure they do not touch the edge. Obviously, it will not look contiguous with the tile next to it. Have lines going in multiple directions. If all of the energy is directed to one side, then the tile next to it will appear to be counteracting or changing that energy, and it will look strange. As you can see here, I try to have a few meandering sets of lines. Now apply the hot glue. I recommend a small gauge glue gun. Go slow and steady. When making sharp curves or turns, you might find that the glue doesn't want to lay down very well and might cling to the nozzle. To prevent that, when doing a sharp curve, pull the trigger a little harder and move a little faster. Ensure that you wisp kill at the end of a line. It's very important not to have wisps messing up your ripple lines. Again, go slow and steady. Time to paint. I am literally using DM Scotty's water kit. Midnight blue for the base coat. Blue Harbor for the mid coat. For this coat, chase your ripple lines and ensure that the brush splays out along the foundation a little bit to get a nice color taper. Also, a very important point, try not to let any of this color get up against the edge of the tile. The reason will be clear later on. Finally, use a light blue to highlight the ripples. It's okay if you occasionally nick the foundation with this color too. Again, minimize letting any of this color touch the edge of the tile. Let the tile dry a good 30 minutes. Then, apply a nice thick coat of a high gloss varnish. Before going into demonstrations, here's a quick sidebar for doing acid tiles. You construct everything exactly the same way. And actually, you paint exactly the same way. 3 colors from darkest to light. My top color here is actually a neon green to give some fluorescence. You might be able to even get away with red, orange, yellow to do magma for these tiles. Alright, so here's 2 water tiles side by side. The one on the left actually had a base coat of true blue instead of midnight blue, so a little less murky look, more like what you'd see in the DMG's video. And here's the tile in context with our cave tiles. You can see in the Hearst Arts Dwarven Forge products that often water tiles will have a shoreline, so you'd have to have a side and a corner and a field for water. I kind of skip all that, I just roll with it. Here's an example with 2 tiles next to each other. Now the reason we wanted to keep the lighter colors away from the edge was to help with the seamless look. Of course, nothing's better than doing just one big tile, but at this point I'm committed to the 2x2 form factor here. So you can see having dark at the edge helps to draw the eye away from the seam. And here's 4 tiles put together. And you can see what I mean. The lines too are important here. You can see how it's just sort of a chaotic energy, just an ambient water, and having 3 or 4 go-to designs, which is what I did, helped. So you can easily get those just by looking at the screen here. They have a nice shimmer. Gloss coat works. And here's those acid tiles that we did just for context. So I am Wylock. Thank you very much for joining me, and we'll see you next time.